this is what I'm thinking, right? Because we can, if you're not happy with Rockbusters, if we add a little bit to it, and they love the bit I've added, then we can slowly fade it out without them knowing.
That's it. Do 2 of your Rockbusters and one of these.
Right.
Are these the prizes, Carl?
They're the prizes.
Well, let's do the prizes.
Let's quickly go through them then.
Yeah.
All right, what have we got here?
Let's speed this up because I'm dropping off now. I think it's either warm in here or this isn't the most scintillating conversation we've ever had.
Okay, firstly, there's a CD here. It's tracks that were sampled by various artists, including Jay-Z, Happy Mondays, and so on. It's the original versions. That might be quite good fun.
Sure.
I Love You. We see it's a number of love songs.
Yeah.
You've got Blue featuring Elton John on there.
Yeah.
Chicago.
Yeah.
Nat King Cole. Some
Yeah.
greats there, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Retro Dance Masters.
Oh, yeah.
That's another CD. Dance tracks, obviously, on there. Oh, it's still knocking about. The Best Air Guitar Volume 2.
Sure.
Rubbish. This is quite good though. It's Paul Whitehouse's TV show Happiness. That's the first series on DVD. We've also got Stephen Polyakoff's The Lost Prince. You can have that in your collection. Probably never watch it, but it might look like you're slightly classy and arty. And
Is it subtitles?
the best one-hit wonders album in the world ever. You got stuff on there like Nena, 99 Red Balloons, and M's Pop Music. So not that bad a selection actually this week. He's cut out some of the chaff.
Right.
Yeah. Okay.
So
right, here we go. Rockbusters.
Rockbusters, first one. We'll do 2 of these, and I'll play something in a minute. Right, first one. The Australian picks 2 blokes.
What?
The Australian picks 2 blokes.
The Australian picks 2 blokes.
The initial.
Yeah, the initial E. Right. And the second one, that builder's a bit...
I've got that already. It's annoying.
That builder is a bit cute.
He's a bit cute.
Yeah.
All right.
And that's BT.
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 That builder's a bit cute.
Yeah. And the Australian picks 2 blokes, E. And then what I'm going to do now is play some sound effects that make up a song, and you've got to guess what the song is.
Go on then,
right?
just do it and then the shot on the summer.
Here we go. There you go. So what song's that? It's sort of an XFM type
Okay,
song,
well, that's
isn't it?
great. Email
So the
only.
first, so I should just clarify that the first 2 are band names or artist names, but that's the title of the track that we want there.
Yeah, that's
Okay,
right.
it's
That's
so
right.
confusing. No one's ever going to figure this out.
They will, though. They will.
All right. First one was the Australian picks 2 blokes. The initial was E. The answer there, Eminem. Eminem. All right. The second one, that builder is a bit cute. The initials there were BT. That was Bonnie Tyler. And then we introduced a new bit to the show. That song sounds alright. These were the effects you heard. And that was Prodigy, Smack My Bitch Up.
Who are you punching there?
And could I just say, no animal was harmed in the taping of that.
I'm not a champion of Rockbusters, as you know, but I think it's overstayed its welcome. But I'm
Well, I
going
think Carl's just giving the fans what they want here.
Okay.
It's a popular thing, isn't it?
Got some good
The
prizes.
press is behind it.
Let me tell you what the prizes are. It's a dance music compilation, Cream Trance Anthems 2003. I'm going to play a lot of trance on this
Well,
station.
I put that on quite a lot and danced to it
Exactly.
myself.
There's the original motion picture soundtrack to the forthcoming film adaptation. When you've seen the film, I'm sure that will mean more to you.
You
But
like
it's a
that,
good-
don't you?
It's a good movie, yeah. Nicolas Cage
I haven't
playing
seen
himself
it.
and a twin brother. And it's written by Spike, it's directed by Spike Jonze.
Joined at the, what?
No, they're not joined at the hip at all, or at the face. And we've also got the best one-hit wonders album in the world ever. What have we got on there? We've got things like The Crazy World of Arthur Brown, brilliant.
Nena, 99 Red Balloons.
The Rembrandt. In fact, it kicks off with Nena.
Sure.
That's followed up by I'll Be There For You, the theme from Friends by the Rembrandts.
Yeah.
And of course, Breakfast at Tiffany's by Deep Blue Something.
Brilliant. Deep Blue Something. Is
What
that the
happened
worst
to
name
the-
ever?
I think it possibly is.
No, Sixpence None the Richer.
Sixpence None the Richer
That's
is
a
quite
pretty bad name.
Okay, again, I know we've got a lot of chill-out fans who listen to us, so the best chill-out album ever.
Yeah.
Bear in mind, of course, all these prizes collated by Carl from, I guess, people's drawers.
Yeah,
maybe their
looking in the
bags.
drawer, looking in the drawer.
Oh, dearie me.
What is it?
The only thing probably worth having is a, I mean, it's topical, if nothing else, Carl. A 7-inch by the White Stripes. Merry Christmas from the White Stripes. That was their exclusive
Brilliant.
Christmas single. So if
So
you
that's early, isn't it? That's
It's
you
worth
get that.
something. It is worth
A
something.
lot of people have got to wait 11 months before that's released. Or is it last Christmases?
Exactly. And I have never heard of this DVD.
Go on.
I like to think of myself as being fairly familiar with TV and films, but I have never heard of Stephen King's Rose Red. Welcome
On
to
DVD.
a place evil calls home. And it's on DVD, it's certificate 12, so don't imagine anything too shocking. And it looks appalling. Is Rosewood Mansion truly haunted? To find out, Professor...
Okay, we've got the gist of it. They're not very good prizes, they're cobbled together, but if you've got nothing better to do, call in if you know the answers to these clues. It's Rockbusters.
Let's not let them call in, Rick. Please don't let those people call in.
No, they're not calling in, it's email only. Carl, don't interrupt me.
I'm just...
Yeah. ricky.gervais@xfm.co.uk. Email only. I can't stress that enough.
We just don't want to speak to you people.
Right, go on.
Right, so I give some initials out and a cryptic clue, and it makes up the answer and that.
Well, sometimes it does, yeah. Go on.
There's two of them, there's a new aspect, which I'll explain about in a minute.
Oh,
so,
God.
the first one is, cryptic clue is, well, if he would have been wearing an helmet, he would have been alright. And the initial there is B, right? So, well, if he would have been wearing an helmet, he would have been alright. That's B, right? Band or an artist. Second one, why are them Jamaican fellas swinging fish around their head?
Okay.
Alright, initials
Fills me with...
DS. DS. Why are them Jamaican men swinging fish around their head? Alright? And the final bit to Rockbusters. It's a new bit. Last week I played you this.
His face goes along with it.
That's someone beating up a dog. That was Smack My Bitch Up, right? So here's some sound effects and that, and they make up a song.
I could listen to him talk all day.
Let's have a listen to the effects.
That's terrifying.
Right, I told you not to play that one. It's rubbish. No one will get that.
Well, we'll see.
I heard that. I can't always say one thing. I said it's rubbish. No one will get it.
No, it's not the one you think it is. Ah, right. So, email in, ricky.gervais@xfm.co.uk and you can win that stuff.
I'm a little bit confused. I'm here. I've heard what you're saying. We've discussed this in the past. I don't know what's happening.
What's that? Is that a clue? That's a cryptic clue. That's screaming to a song, is it?
To do with screaming.
Well, don't say it.
So
it should stand up by itself. Don't give them any clue.
Hang on a sec. So this is the name of a song. It's not a band or an artist.
Yeah,
the sound effect.
So the first two are bands or artists, and the last one is the name of a song.
I said we should abandon this.
Okay, right. Do the question. Do the questions and the answers. And if I think that it's either too hard or ungettable because it's stupid, we're binning it.
Right.
I thought we'd already been. I'm annoyed that.
Right, come on. Do it quickly.
The first one was, well, if he would have been wearing an helmet, he would have been alright.
Right, what's the answer?
That was B.
What's the answer?
Bust head.
Right, that works. All right.
Busted. That's fair enough.
Did anyone get that? I assume some people got.
No. People have given up, Rick. People aren't even bothering to contribute.
Right, what's the next one?
They've just ignored it like it never happened.
Busted.
Second
Busted.
one.
Busted.
Why are them Jamaican men swinging fish around their head?
Go on.
That was DS.
Yeah.
70s band, Trout Spinners.
The Detroit Spinners have become the D-Trout Spinners.
Yeah.
Okay.
Brilliant. And then the final bit, I'll play you some effects. They
Let's
went
hear
like
this.
this.
It's terrifying, Carl. It's sinister.
Well, what's happened there? What was happening?
No. What's the answer?
That was Born Slippy. The woman was having a baby. The doctor tried to grab it. It fell onto the floor.
That's in your head, Carl.
That's just a load of screams.
That's
and
in
noise.
your head.
Oh.
Do you know what? I haven't even got onto Born Slippy. I'm still on the Trout Spinners.
Well, let's put a song. That's it.
I don't know what to say. Well, Carl, you are officially a published author, and a copy will go in the British Library.
Well, they have to take every rubbish. I think it'll go in the British Library lavatory. From what I understand, it'll be in there with like a collection of like novelty postcards and maybe a Viz compendium. You know.
Yeah, so they take everything. Just think of that.
But why do they do this? Why do they think they've got to keep everything? Because we're living in a world now where everything is sort of binnable, and you know we use stuff for what it is.
Well,
I think you could say that.
That's fine. That's fine.
There was a sort of poetry to it, but I think he stumbled across that. I don't think it was intentional.
Yeah, I mean, I still haven't got over him saying foodage.
Do you know what I mean, though? That the world's changed, so why is that rule still hanging around when...
Well, it's not a rule. I mean, it's not a rule that, you know, the country's going to, you know, live and die by. It's just that it is seen as a repository for knowledge, for information, and I don't believe any old Joe can wander in there and get one of these books. I think you have to either be a scholar. I think maybe it's open for a brief window for students, but you know, you can just wander in there and see your own book, Carl. You know,
there are some books that they have to turn the page for you in gloves, so the amino acids.
I'd hate that.
With yours, it won't matter. They just go, it's over there, or they throw it to you.
No, it's just
or they slide it along the floor.
Well, they say, well, I can't give it to you, Carl, because it's propping up this desk.
Yeah, they kick it to you and say, put it in the bog when you're finished with it.
It's just that thing of being timed, though. I hate it when people go, "Oh, have you read this?" And then I can't read it properly because they're thinking I'm taking ages here. Do you know what I mean? So I have to scan read it. And they go, "Oh, it's good, that." And they go, "What do you think?" And I go, "Oh, about what?" So I hate the fact that someone stood there with gloves on, because that isn't normal, relaxing sort of reading, is it?
But it's not. You don't go in to read the Doomsday Book, let's say, in order to just have a relaxing read. You're going in there to study
There
it.
are to say they're professors and scholars and scientists and historians. They don't wander in because it's raining and they go, "What's a good read?"
There's not a man wearing white gloves turning the pages of the latest Jackie Collins.
No, exactly. Do you have heat?
Watching your lips move as you read to see if you should turn the next page.
I suppose I shouldn't really feel guilty, because at the end of the day, right, I mean, people always rave about Shakespeare, saying, "Oh, yeah, his work was good." But
Brilliant.
at the same time...
He'll probably put that on the book when he brings another one out. He'll put your review on it.
Yeah.
Oh, that was good. Karl Pilkington.
But at the same time, you know, like, some people will have a go. I'm ready for people having a go, like that Wendy did about my little films I made. You know,
their opinion. So
yeah,
you didn't hear she slammed Carl.
No, well, you know, each to their own and that. And, you know, if everyone liked the same thing, I don't know what we'd do, right?
Sure.
You don't know anything.
So all I'm saying is, everybody raves about Shakespeare, when, if you properly looked at what he did, he invented a lot of swearing words, right? Effing and jeffing and that. Now,
That was one of his.
Well, it's Effin' and Jeffin' and Effin' and Jeffin' Part 2.
But all I'm saying is, for some reason, when things are brought out years ago, people say they're good even though they're not, is what I mean. When I was watching that documentary about the real Indiana Jones,
Brilliant.
they dug out some rocks with drawings on, and they were like, "Oh, don't damage them, don't mark the paint," and it's like, it's rubbish. It was like a stick fella with a yak. And now, if that was found now, or if a kid showed me that, I'd go, "Hey, it's not that good." So what I mean is, because stuff's old stuff gets respect.
But you're not judging it on its aesthetic merits, you're judging it on its historical importance.
I don't think that's fair, though, because when that fella drew that, it wasn't old. He did it when he was knocking about.
No, yes, but you must see the difference between you doing a stick man on a wall with a bit of chalk near your local and a cave painting that they date to 10,000 years ago.
Yeah, so in 10,000 years' time, when they find my story, will it gain more respect then than it is now?
No, less.
But why is it?
Because people will more and more realise what a buffoon you are. The more research we do, the more you expose yourself as an empty, egg-headed moron.
That's a friend speaking right there, Richard Gervais.
No,
he loves you like a brother.
I just think, you've mentioned him before, Steve, this Pepys fella.
Yes.
Has he done anything else apart from a diary? Because now I've done a book and a diary.
That means you're better than Pepys, is what you're thinking,
well,
isn't it?
I'm not going to say that until I know, but what else did he do?
Well, Pepys wasn't a writer predominantly. I believe he was, you know, like a bureaucrat or something. But he kept a diary which has since become a historical landmark.
And what did he say in it?
Well, it's again more because it's both well written and it's also an amazing insight into...
A social document
a social
as well.
document, yeah.
Yeah.
It's a social document
I
of
mean,
that
yours
period.
is a social document, but it sort of revolves around having egg and chips and a cap and seeing a ladybird, which, you know...
But that's today's living. That's
well,
his
describes the Great Fire of London, which is what it's most... It's best
we haven't
remembered
had
for.
one of them. If we had one, I'd write it down. I'm only writing what's happening. He was just lucky. He was about in London when that happened.
The thing is, if they read your diary, they'd think, well, nothing happened that year. Nothing important in the world happened that year.
Because your diary doesn't just mention. I mean, okay, yes, it does. It fails to mention any disasters in London because we haven't had any. It doesn't mention any world events. It doesn't mention wars in Iraq,
But I don't
terrorism.
need
It doesn't
to
mention
now.
anything.
But that's all being wrote about anyway. If you're saying there's a museum that's keeping everything, there's loads of other books for that. Who's looking at the fella whose skulls fell off?
What?
We see. It's interesting, isn't it? A fella's skull has fell off.
What do you mean? His skull has fell off?
It's something to do with circulation.
But what do you mean his skull fell
Well,
off?
it's in the diary. We
But
might
how
look
can
at
a
the diary.
skull fall off? Because it's surrounded by tissue and it's got a brain. How can just his skull? How can it detach itself from all the stuff surrounding
He
it?
mislaid all his dreams.
But all I'm saying is that's not getting a look in.
No, because it's not significant or probably true.
Carl, you have the same concepts that you worked out and decided that were true at about 10, I think.
I look at life like a
Box
big
of chocolates?
book. Like a big book.
Right, okay, yeah.
Right? And, you know, sometimes you get halfway through it and you go, even though I've been enjoying it, I've had enough. Give us another book.
No. Your metaphor, analogy, whatever you're trying to create there, falls down with "let's have another book."
Yeah.
No. You can either opt out of life or stick with it till the end. You can't go be someone else now. You can't do that. I know you think you can, and I think in your world you can, you possibly be injected into an old woman's head when you've had enough and you come out a little baby.
What I mean is, at the moment, my life, I'm going to live to 74, 75, right?
Okay,
right.
So yeah, I'm probably on page, what am I on? A book that's got about 200...
This is painful, Steve. This is really painful. Carry on.
I'm on, say if my book's got 300 pages in it,
Yeah.
few pictures and that.
It's a picture book. That's the great thing about Carl's life. It's a book for children.
It's a pop-up book, and it just every page he pops in, he goes. All right.
All right.
I'm probably on like page about 170.
Yeah.
He's going to die at 74. He's reading a book with a few pictures in, with 300 pages, and he's on 170. Go on then.
So, right, if the book was too thick, right, and there was loads more pages
Let me tell you,
left,
this book is way too thick.
Yeah. If the book was more thick, yeah.
The book could not be thicker.
if there was loads more pages left, I'd go, I can't be bothered reading on.
Right. Okay,
But
no,
you
let him finish the
But he must have
analogy.
known that when he saw the book. You don't.
Got to finish this analogy,
Right.
otherwise we're going to be here all night.
Listen, he must have known how many pages there were when he got the book out of the library.
Yeah, but the way they write books, they're painting pictures more at the beginning, you're going, this is good. And then it gets a bit boring as it goes on, doesn't it?
Okay, well that works. So you're saying that you were young.
No, it doesn't work.
Well,
Well, you just accepted that that's what all books are like.
No, but there's a little bit of poetry in that, because he's actually saying that when he was young, his whole life was ahead of him. He couldn't wait the whole world, the promise that he was given of this world, and now he's a bit jaded and he's more cynical, and he realises that the world hasn't got as much to offer him as he thought it was. Is that what you meant?
Yeah.
Liar. Actually, Carl, you like sayings, don't you? Got a list here of some of the sayings and phrases that Shakespeare made up, really. In a pickle was his.
Yeah.
And we know what in a pickle
Yeah, we
means.
know what it means. It's a saying I'd never use. Because when you're in a pickle, it's not something that you would say.
No, if you're if you're captured and you're being tortured for information,
Yeah.
you wouldn't, and you get access to a phone, you wouldn't go, MI5, I'm in a pickle. You'd be screaming, going,
You're taking my teeth now.
While you've been talking about that, I just was looking on the computer at the Pun of the Day website. There's a couple that you might like. There was a sign on the lawn at a drug rehab centre that said, keep off the grass.
Okay, now if the pun is the lowest form of wit, and let's face it, sarcasm isn't, sarcasm is up there compared to the pun, then the drug pun, I think, is one of the lowest of the low. Oh, people who congratulate themselves on getting drug references. Keep off the grass, will you? Grass, get it? Grass. No, you're smoking the grass, yeah. I think pun should be short for punch him in the mouth.
Idioms are better.
Go on then, what's an idiom? Is that a new word you made up?
No,
As
No,
in
I
Carl
know.
Pilkington's a complete idiom.
I found out what it was because I thought, I like them, what are they?
Right.
And it's like little sayings
Yeah, that's right.
that sum stuff up.
Go on, give us an example of your favourite.
Oh, can I just say one, talking about sayings, Carl was getting fed up with summer. He was fed up with not getting replies from something. He's having a hard time, And I went, oh, the worm has turned. He went, what? I went, the worm has turned. You've...
Stupid saying, isn't it?
No, okay, tell him why you think that's a stupid saying.
Because how do you know when a worm's turned? Of all the creatures that you could flip over and know it's turned, why pick a worm? It's the worst thing they could have picked to express something turning.
But you're turning literally. It means changing, doesn't it? Changing your attitude. A new broom, turning over a new leaf.
Yeah, but
things are going to be different now, and I'm sick of it.
Chameleon.
No, but
Chameleon is a brilliant thing to use for something to change. Chuck that in a sentence. There's nothing that you can link a worm to human life to. You're talking about something it's blind, isn't it? It's blind, it's deaf.
Gay.
It's got no features.
Why is he having such a go at a worm?
Just because it's a weird thing to use. Something that its arse does more than its head.
That could be said of you, Carl, to be fair.
Hoax, featuring Kirsty Cole and A Fairy Tale of New York. Brilliant, on XFM 104.9.
That's the song I think that single-handedly keeps Shane MacGowan in gin for another year.
It must do
Just
well
about
though,
keeps-
but
I'm sure it does.
I absolutely love it. I still love it. I saw it on Top of the Pops too. And it's just brilliant. I mean, he wasn't great at miming, but it didn't bother me.
Sure.
It was
He's miming to a different song, probably.
yeah, in his head. It was great.
I had a little visit in the week, Rick. I think
Go
you
on.
missed out. A little Christmas visit from, I know he's a friend of yours. He's a friend of He's a friend of the nation.
Go on.
TV illusionist Darren Brown.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, he's bought a new pad.
Yeah.
And, he just came around to tell me about it.
Yeah.
And, it's interesting because...
Somewhere to keep his guns.
Exactly. And, I can never know kind of how much, he's just playing with your mind, experimenting. But he was telling me about the place, and
You
apparently...
say he loves you?
he's got a B-day. In
Yeah.
the house. Now we were discussing B-days because
Never understood that.
I've never got my head around it. To this
He's
day,
not meant to.
Well, no, but I don't think I've ever met anyone who's used a B-day.
Oh, Darren Brown does. He's known as the cleanest arse in Modern Magic.
Yeah.
Shiny arse, they call him.
But we were chatting about it, I don't really know, to be truthful, I don't really know how you use them. I don't
Well,
know.
I assume you just sort of go over it and let...
But do you face the wall with your knees on the tiles, or do you face away from the wall?
No, it's sort of like you just... I don't...
And
no.
it's got the little
Do you
nozzle.
sit on it, or do you sort of hover above it?
Do you
I
hover
feel-
above it and just splash things onto them?
No, it's a little jet, isn't it? It does it for you, doesn't
But
it?
is there a jet? This is what I'm wondering. Is there a jet of water that goes up the crap?
It's like it's a drinking fountain.
That's
You used
just
to
what
have
I'm
in school,
thinking, yeah.
which I remember Mr. Mellows used to embarrass himself every time. I go, no, he's in the middle of playground, Mr. Mellows.
Yeah.
It's not a B-day.
We're not at your French, cottage again.
yeah. I don't. B-day sounds French.
Well, I'm assuming it's French.
After, they're probably so embarrassed about just like squatting over a hole.
Yeah.
They go, well, at least we can clean it.
Are they? Because I haven't been to France for years. But are they still persevering with the
They're
public
still
toilets?
going
Just
with
the
it.
hole in
They're
the
still
ground?
I mean, I think they have got...
Has a single Frenchman travelled anywhere else in the world?
Yeah,
and
goes,
seen that now?
This
you
is
can actually have a-
uncomfortable. I know, my trousers go
You go
down
to
that...
Delhi, and I think there's proper decent porcelain.
I know. I can't believe it. I think they have got the flush ones now, mainly for the tourists.
Sure, yeah,
But
yeah,
I've
yeah,
never
yeah.
really understood that.
But it's not, you don't go in, it's not like because they're literally crapping into an open sewer, aren't they? That's the French approach to the public lavatory. Do they have the bidet next to the hole?
no, the toilet is a toilet, isn't it?
Right.
But it's just like... It's sort of like it's like going in the bottom of a shower with a big hole at the bottom. But I don't
And
know...
do you use, I mean, again, not wishing to get graphic, but do you use the bidet instead of the toilet paper? Is it used in conjunction with, or
I mean,
instead
do you
of?
know what? I've honestly never used a bidet.
Because it's not
but-
really a working class thing, is it, the bidet?
No, but well, it sort of came in with sort of like purpose-built houses, didn't it? They sort of like shot up all over the no pun intended, all over the sort of 70s. You know what I mean? It was like in salmon pink, there was toilet, sink and bidet.
Yeah,
we won't
yeah,
be
yeah.
using the bidet.
Exactly.
Fill it with ice, put some beer in that.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
none of my friends washes their arse.
There are people who refuse to touch their, the hole with the hands, and they only use a bidet. So if they're at a party and there's no bidet,
Well, Carl don't like feeding his bollocks for cancer because he says he doesn't like the texture of them.
sure.
Well, so I mean, so he'd probably love a B-day if he didn't
But
have
are
to
there
go.
kind of upper-class women who just waddle into the dining room at sophisticated trousers around their ankles going, where's the B-day? It's filthy.
Where's the B-day?
I don't know what
We
was-
use the paper. The what?
I think the fish was off. I'm going berserk up there. What?
Get me a B-day.
Yeah, why don't you lie on the floor?
Or I am climbing into the sink and turning the tap upside down. That's the only way I can do it.
Yeah.
B-day. Thoughts on B-days?
Have you ever used one?
Well, no, you told me all this, but you still haven't got to the bottom of how you use them.
No, I
don't know.
I
you
don't know how
what-
to use it.
Do they come? You need to ask Sarah and Brian. Does it come with like instructions, like a flat pack
I
kit
think you're
or
supposed
something?
to know.
about-
I think you're supposed to, you know, if you've bought a B-day, the assumption is you know how to use it.
Imagine someone installing it and going, there you go, there's a B-day. Go, could you show me how to use it? Well, you like this? Well, no, let's go to the toilet first. Do the whole thing, otherwise I won't know in
I'll
context.
just sit here in the corner, that's fine.
Okay.
You
well,
do,
just,
do you read a magazine when you're normally going? or
Well, I
what
might do, but I mean, I don't really want to do it with you here, but how will I know?
Exactly.
What-
I need to know how you transport yourself from the lavatory to the B-day.
Remember when we were trying to offer Carl money to have a shower with Johnny?
Yeah.
That's a
Just
weird
some of the
thing to-
highlights of the year.
That's a weird thing to do.
Yeah.
We nearly had him there, and then he didn't want us to watch.
Yeah.
We said, well, how will we know that you've done it or not?
Yeah.
He went, you are definitely bent. That's its conclusion. What we got lined up?
Well, hang on, let's just say, if anyone's got any idea sort of how to use a bidet, maybe...
Any idea for anything to talk about on this show?
Well, that doesn't involve crapping. Or
Yeah,
farting.
we've done that.
Yeah.
We haven't done little Chinese fellas or the gays yet. That's still to come in the second hour.
Ian.Camfield@xfm.co.uk if you've got any thoughts on B-days or just, you know, lavatories generally. Richard Ashcroft on XFM, Check the Meaning. I think it was out this year and we enjoyed it, so we
I
played
certainly had a thought then that, you know, someone like Richard Ashcroft, who's really cool. I mean, I think one of our greatest rock and rollers, really. He writes great tunes, does great albums. The Verve, you know, already in history. I just suddenly thought of him listening to this and thinking, I wish they wouldn't play my songs because I don't want to be associated with that drivel.
Yeah. Yeah.
Is, you know, most people get a buzz out of it, get it on the radio. Do you think people say, don't let Gervais
Guilty by association.
Do you know what I mean? I love that song. I love Check the Meaning. I thought it was a lovely song. And he's thinking, they're gonna sandwich it to bring talk about little gay Chinese fellas and B-days.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it's gonna make me look
What worries
bad.
me, Rick, is that there were, you know, if we had to draw up some kind of list of artists who would allow us to play their songs, it's gonna be such a short list. Gary Glitter, you know, it's gonna be a few people who, you know, are slightly more shameful than us.
I just thought of something. There are 1 billion people in China. And I assume it's the same percentage of homosexuality occurs, as it were. That, to 1 billion, 1 in 10, that means there's 100 million little gay Chinese fellas running around.
Richard Ashcroft, if you're listening, I apologise for that last...
Think about it. Johnny, you okay? War is over. I heard a DJ in the week, I won't say who it was, but sort of like a cheesy, sort of housewife choice DJ, and he played that, and he went, weird one that, isn't it? What do you think of that the first time you heard it? Strange one. John Lennon, Yoko Ono, war is over. Here's the moment at least out there. I love that!
Oh.
What does he mean?
That's exactly what I want from a DJ. That
Yeah.
kind of insight.
We were talking before the break about how many little Chinese fellas there are.
Yeah.
Billions.
An awful lot of them.
Brilliant, good, more the merrier.
Are you familiar, Rick, with the scary fact, I don't know, Camford, if you're aware of this, and
Go
it's
on.
chilling. I don't know where I've heard this from, but apparently, and this is kind of legend, I didn't just make this up, this is well known, that if all the Chinese people in China, right, no, come on, if they all jumped up and down at the same time, apparently, this is what they say, apparently it would cause a tidal wave
that would wipe out America.
that would destroy America.
I love the idea of coordinating that.
Brilliant. Well, I like the idea, firstly, they don't need, weapons of mass destruction, they don't need nuclear weapons,
No.
because they got that
They
threat
can't have them on
constantly.
that. You can't count
No.
a tidal wave as a weapon of mass
Or
destruction.
jumping.
Tony Blair could send in sort of people, you know, UN people going, look out for anyone jumping.
Exactly.
You know,
All they need is an immense sort of skipping rope.
oh yeah, once a little fella in Japan holding
Yeah,
one end,
exactly.
little fella in Russia holding the other.
Exactly, yeah.
And they go, on your marks, you'd have a lot of coordination over that one little...
Maybe like someone
would
like
be
Mr.
tricky.
Motivator, kind of coordinating it all from the
Yeah,
top of the
yeah,
wall, sort of
yeah.
looking down.
The
It's
Chinese
got-
equivalent.
That's right, yeah. That would be...
Because I think that's why they built the wall. I think that's why they built the Great
jump
Wall.
off the wall.
Exactly, they just climb on that wall. That's the way it's there. That's the threat.
And that's why America started the space race.
Yeah.
Because you can see it from space.
Exactly.
So they go.
They're up there monitoring constantly.
This is Eagle to Houston. There's lots of little Chinese fellas about to jump.
Yeah.
This is Houston. Are they wearing them?
We just need to confirm they're Chinese. Are they wearing those? Are they wearing those conical hats that look a bit like a lampshade?
They
Yes,
are. They are. We just have to confirm they're Chinese.
Because if I was the leader of China, what is the name of the? What is it? Is he the king of China?
We're so ill-educated, aren't
Is
we?
it the king of China? The czar of China?
King, is it? What is it?
Is Chairman Mao still there? Is he
It's
still
chairman someone. Chairman someone else probably. The new chairman. I
Or
don't
chairwoman? Don't be sexist. And
actually, you know when I said there's a billion people in China, so there's 100 million little gay Chinese fellas.
Yeah.
Someone phoned up to say half of them are women.
yeah. Well, of course.
Yeah.
Straight on the phone with that.
Well, I meant little lesbian fellas or little gay fellas.
Yeah.
I mean, I wasn't being sexist.
But if
I'm
I
just
was-
saying there's probably 100 million little gay Chinese people.
What worries me, Rick, is if I was the premier of China, or if it was some of the people I went to school
it
with.
premier?
Oh, whoever he is, the king of China. If I was the king of China, right? Isn't he the king of China and king and I? Or is that he's somewhere else, isn't he?
That's Siam, isn't it?
I don't know.
We're
Is that not,
rubbish, aren't we?
is that not in China?
We're not.
Where's Siam then?
We're not. It's still on now, isn't it? I don't know. Or was that? Oh my God! Someone educated listening must be tearing their hair out,
screaming
listening
at
to three buffoons
But listen,
in a room.
if I was the king of China, let's assume he's the king of China.
Okay, yeah, you'd be tall.
But you know when sometimes you've had a few drinks, whatever, you know, I mean, I'm sure you've done that thing where you order a pizza for someone, you know, a mate or whatever, or send a taxi round to their house, something like that.
Yeah.
What I do is I just phone up George W. Bush and go, seriously, mate, you better send some stuff over, money and that, and
Yeah.
videos, because seriously, they're all outside now. 1, 2,
Yeah.
you know, and you can freak them out. It'll be
Send us
brilliant.
some knives and forks, because I am fed up with these sticks.
Yeah.
It's
I
ridiculous.
don't know why we're still sticking with them.
I can't pick up the tiniest little bit of chicken.
It's crazy.
It's rubbish.
It's-
Send us some cutlery.
I'm having a nightmare eating yogurt.
Oh dear. This is 104.9 Racist FM.
Absolutely.
Jonah Louis. Should we apologise for that?
Not at all, no.
That's all right, innit?
Stand by it, yeah, it's
That was
good.
his follow-up to You'll Always Find Me in the Kitchen at Parties.
Yeah.
One of my favourite lyrics. She was into French cuisine, but ain't no cordon bleu. Brilliant.
Yeah, looking forward to playing that in the new year.
What happened to B.A. Robertson?
Don't
He
know.
knocked it off. I was standing in the corner and the ball came across. What was the other one he did?
I don't know, we're not as old as you.
Oh no.
This is all
you-
gobbledygook to us.
XFM 104.9. That's
Yeah.
Jonah Louis.
Yeah, you're not listening to classic gold. Amazingly.
I've still got my own teeth.
I think, Rick, I was the subject of a Christmas con in the week.
What, you mean you bought something for £4, then saw it for £4, £3.90 as you walked home?
That would make me
Because
livid.
I've seen you
Oh.
really livid.
I'm absolutely furious. When I bought my PlayStation, I saw I could get it for a £5 cheaper down the road. I was absolutely
And you'd
fuming.
already walked to about 19 places,
Oh, God,
I remember.
yeah.
I actually left you after about an hour.
Yeah.
Can you
No, I
work
do.
out?
I'm furious because I got to get a bargain. I hate feeling that I'm being ripped off.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you this, I'm loving online shopping. Oh, the savings I'm making, Rick.
Really?
It's crazy.
Really?
Getting 15, 20 quid off some things.
Is it really?
Oh, amazing.
But these things, I might point out, are like Jaguars and, you know, yeah, Mitsubishi cars. Well, here we are again, XFM, on a Saturday. Just gone 1 o'clock, Steve, if I'm very much mistaken. But we're not here, as such, we're away again, gallivanting around. We've got to do the special, sort of best of again.
Okay.
Which we did a few weeks ago, so this is the best of the last 3 weeks. Which I think is, I think it's the best 3 weeks we've ever had. But I'd like it condensed into 2 hours.
Yeah. Yeah, some great music as well in there.
Yeah, there'll be some great music, interspersed with fine chat that you've already heard.
Yeah.
Well, except this bit's new. We've actually, out of the kindness of our heart, we've come in last week,
Yeah. Yeah.
and we've done a few clips, just because we felt a bit guilty about shooting off.
Yeah,
and
I mean,
leaving.
even now, having heard this link, I'm beginning to wonder if it was worth our time.
Oh, dear.
You know, I've said in the past to you, Rick, that my grandparents, so I love them dearly, but it's like, for the last 30 years, they've been waiting to die.
I know,
It's
yeah.
like they just sort of, it's like, you know, the novelty wore off of life.
Life in the
Yeah, they
50s.
got kind of bored of it. Life, yeah, in the 40s, it was brilliant. All sat around the old Joannas, the bombs
Yeah.
fell, singing, they loved that. The 50s, you know, that was great as well, because that was the post-war years. It was, you know, it was a bit tight in the pocket, but it was alright, everyone pulled together. And then the 60s came along, all the crazy music, the funny hair.
Let's stay in bed.
Exactly, and they basically stayed in bed. And it was one Christmas when my grandmother said to my dad, what do you like for Christmas? What do you fancy for Christmas? And this must have been, I don't know, 20 years ago. she said, what do you fancy for Christmas, Ron? And he went, well, you know, I could do with a nice big kind of warm winter overcoat. She said, don't worry about that. He said, don't worry about that, because your father will be dead soon. It's right, you can have his. Meaning my granddad. Well, to be honest with you, my father's still waiting. Which is good news. Good news for my grandfather. Less good news for my dad. He's freezing.
He's freezing. He finds out, how is he today? He's fine. Oh, okay. Oh, I'm freezing.
It is such a weird mindset, that. I think it's that, to me, is what sums up people from that older generation, the 40s and 50s. And it seems to me that you've got that kind of mindset. It's like you were born in the 30s. And whenever you talk of your childhood, it's like you had, like, a baked potato to take to school. And a hoop and a stick as a Christmas gift.
The other thing is, I think that that sort of generation, it seems that the man is dependent on the woman. There's a total dependence.
Oh, absolutely,
If she dies, he's done.
Yes.
He's done for. Yeah. Just pine away. If he dies, she's got 30 years of pottering.
Absolutely, yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And going to, like, you know, the youth club and the church.
I know what you mean, yeah.
It's sort of like that. It's sad. Of course, it's sad for them, but it's not the end of their life.
No, sure.
And it sort of is the other way around. I don't know why that is.
Yeah.
It's terrible.
That's a little melancholy thought for.
I know. I've really you brought it down. You've brought it down. I've brought it. This isn't a nice show at all. This is terrible.
Well,
we're gonna have people just killing themselves. What?
Well, I didn't really want to make it a Christmassy type show because I don't really like it.
Oh, he's done it again. Well, he did Christmas once, didn't like it.
No, my dad always said.
Oh, right, steady on.
Dad said Christmas morning was for, like, you know, for me. So he used to stay in bed. So he never.
That's brilliant. That's a great thing to say, isn't it? Yeah. Christmas morning's for you. Run wild. Do what you want. Just don't bother me.
I'm going to Honolulu for 2 weeks.
That's great. Dad, it's Christmas. Do I have to do anything? No.
So my mum used to get up because she used to like to see my face light up, you know, when I opened the presents. And then
fireworks.
And then then I'd have to go to my bedroom from about 6 o'clock onwards because, like, my mum and dad were into having big Christmas parties, and I wasn't, like, old enough to go.
Right.
So they'd say, right, you know, you've had your fun there, you go up to your bedroom, stay in there.
Really?
Yeah, I remember one year, right, I got a train set, that's what I wanted.
Yeah.
Right? It's brilliant. Playing with it all day. I thought, I don't mind about the party, I'm happy staying up here, playing with this. Brother comes in, he's had a few, right, he's going, yeah, give us a go on your train.
How old is he?
He's a bit older than me, so he might have been like, let's see.
Well, let him be 18.
Yeah, probably about 18, 19,
and how old were you?
like that. I had a train set, so, I don't know, about
14.
something like that. Yeah. Right, so I'm playing on that, loving it and stuff, and then he comes in and goes, oh, give us a go. He turns the transformer up to, like, 14. He went really fast for about 5 seconds, broke it, and then he went back downstairs.
Wow.
So Christmas, I hadn't even got to
Sounds
Christmas
like
Day.
the Conservative government with British Rail.
Satire, that is.
Rick, I just thought that there's satire. If there's any satirical shows listening or magazines.
It doesn't work in any way, because there's the analogy falls down, apart from there being a train.
Think it through, though. British Rail was trains.
Yeah.
And the government broke the trains in many ways. They didn't break them, like, not officially breaking them, but they kind of...
Yeah, it does work. It's perfect.
Oh, I'm pretty pleased with that.
And I can't... And no one's asked him to be on Have I Got News For You?
It's weird, isn't it? Because it's strange, that, when you've got a satirical mind that's as quick as that.
Yeah.
All right.
And he's broke your little train set. So what did you do?
I just, like, watched telly and had some sausages.
I bet you were happy with that, though, weren't you?
It's a bit annoying, though, isn't it, when your main present of the year's been broke.
And did it ever get it fixed?
No, that was it. Put away.
I'm intrigued why your parents wouldn't let you come and join in the festive fun. Was it, like, really debauched down there? Was it, like, eggnog everywhere? And
well, no, but I mean, that's fair enough. 6 is a little bit early, but I just think, you know, if you're a kid, you know, he had his fun, put him to bed at 8, maybe. And
do you think so on Christmas Day? I thought that was a day for family.
Well, not if there's a party going on.
Well, don't have the party on to Christmas Day.
Well, that's another option.
Yeah. Your parents are weird, aren't they? A strange breed.
Well, I think that was the year, right? You're talking about buying presents and stuff. I think I did treat my mum to... I didn't buy my dad anything. I think that was, like, when I got a bit older, he used to get me dad something, because he wasn't that bothered anyway.
No.
So, got me mum, there was a cheap shop, right?
Of course.
Thank God for that.
Called Snips. Right? So I went in there and I thought, let's see what I can get her. And remember Victoria Plum?
I don't think so.
Well, it's like a fairy character.
Right.
Right. And my mum's into gnomes and stuff, right? So I thought, right.
She must be pleased with you then.
Victoria Plum. I was thinking, is that one of the neighbours? Is it like a brandy
liqueur? Do you remember Victoria Plum?
Victoria Plum.
Victoria Plum, yeah, it's like a little fictional sort of character, right?
Okay.
So I saw it, I thought, yeah, she'll love that. right? So I did my paper round, saved up for 2 weeks, right? Got that sorted, went to Snips, bought the Victoria Plum. Next day I'm in town with her, right? So I think, I know what I'll do. I said, come in here a minute, right? So we go in and we're looking around, and I tested her, right? I went, look at that there, that's alright, innit? And she goes, oh, it's bloody awful.
Oh, Carl. Oh, Carl. Oh, God.
So then Christmas Day comes, I said, don't bother opening it. She said, no, why? I said,
Oh,
"Don't."
no! Why did you still give it to her?
So, well, it's too late, I'd already bought it.
Oh, Carl.
So she opened it, and I was like, and she said, oh, that's nice. I said, why are you saying that? I said, the other day, you said it's bloody awful. She said, oh, no, I thought you were pointing at something else.
Oh, no!
So that's why I don't get anyone anything anymore.
Oh, God! Play record! Oh, God! Oh! XFM 104.9, we're not here. This next clip is one of my favourite clips. Look, it needs no introduction. Here it is.
Something else we're giving away.
Go on.
The Shining.
It's more throwing away, isn't it?
Once again,
is it on video?
Once again, it's on VHS.
Just because you buy it out of your own money, Carl, stop being so mean.
And I want to watch it tonight, because it's one of those films that,
So you're going to watch this video, and then you're going to send it to someone as a prize.
yeah, it's one of them films that...
Oh, sorry, you just said yes to that without blinking.
Oh, yeah. You don't think, like, Les Dennis doesn't have a quick go in the car on Family Fortune before he gives it away?
It costs
Jim Bowen has
$5.99.
a go at those his and her towel racks.
It costs $5.99, Carl.
Okay, this is Carl in the classic The Shining.
And what's the question?
Well, we might ask that afterwards.
Okay, then.
Fine.
Still trying to write the book, then? No?
Yes.
Good. Funny, someone told me the other day, weird thing about a typewriter, the top row of letters, the longest word you can write is typewriter. I'll just show you, that's weird, isn't it? It's just the typewriter being, you're not in the mood, you're in one of those grouchy moods again, that you get into when you're writing.
I'm not being grouchy. I just want to finish my work.
Yeah, it's just being a bit funny, a bit offhand and that.
Let me explain something to you.
Go on.
Whenever you come in here and interrupt me, you're breaking my concentration. You're distracting me. And it will then take me time to get back to where I was. Understand?
Yeah, but I just was coming in to try and cheer you up, you know, if you... I mean, I'm full of ideas as well, you know, if you're having a problem coming up with stuff, got loads of ideas you could write about. The other day I read about this airy Chinese kid.
What do you want me to do about it?
No, it's just that it could make a good book, do you know what I mean, sort of following round.
That's swell.
Well, I'd buy it, you know, but if you don't want to know, don't bother doing it, but, do you know what I mean? It just, airy Chinese kid, it's weird because they're not normally that airy over there. Yeah, this kid caked in it, but if you don't care...
I wouldn't touch one hair on his goddamn little head.
You won't have to touch any hair on his head, like I say, he's covered, leave the head alone if you want, touch his hands, he's totally covered in it, but...
I love the little son of a bitch.
Well, don't go that far, you haven't met him, but I can sort it out.
I'd do anything for him.
I don't think you'd expect that much, just take him to the barbers 3 or 4 times a week. You know, he's a good little kid. In fact, I'll do it. I think I'll write a book on him. Yeah?
How do you think you can handle that?
Yeah?
You're not too busy, are you?
Well, yeah, I'm pretty busy. I've got to sort out some monkey facts for the show this Saturday, but I reckon I can still
Why don't you start right now and get out of here?
Alright. I will. If you're going to be like that. Couldn't borrow a pen, could I? See you later.
There you
Haunting.
haunting stuff there. Karl Pilkington in The Shining.
You know, in the film, Jack Nicholson goes crazy because the suggestion is he's maybe possessed by demons that maybe are in the hotel. But you know, if I was stranded in a desolate hotel, removed from all human contact with Karl, I'd go mental with an axe without being possessed by demons. That's more chilling to me. Trying to get some work done, and you keep wandering.
Oh, chimpanzee's that? He's gone and written it down again.
Just reading excerpts of Karl's diary. Went home and looked up Freud on the internet. Didn't find him that interesting, so looked at some other philosophers instead. Socrates, Aristotle. Lao Tzu from years ago came up with some good stuff. 1. He who knows does not speak. He who speaks does not know. Not entirely true. To lead people, walk behind them.
Yeah.
And of course, the journey of 1,000 miles begins with one step.
Yeah, good that.
Maybe this is why people are at the start line spectating at the Commonwealth Games.
Well, no, it's just that I've never understood why in Olympics and stuff like that, if you're going to watch, don't stand around the start line, go to the end, where you see the winner. But because of that saying, it actually makes sense. And then it's like, well, every step starts with a step or whatever.
Say again?
Every race, you know, you've got to start with a step.
Yeah.
If you want to stay at the start line, do.
What does that mean?
I'm just saying, if you're into, I wouldn't watch a race, right?
Okay.
But all I'm saying is,
Right.
if I was to watch a race,
Yeah.
I wouldn't hang about the start line because.
Well, you just said you would.
What did I?
Yeah, you said that's the place to start because every race starts with a step.
No, but I wouldn't normally. When I was on holiday,
Yeah.
Suzanne said there's a race going on down the road.
Yeah.
I'd go, well, let's go, keep going down the road and stand at the finish line.
Okay, but now what have
according
you
to
thought?
Lazoo,
Yeah.
I'd say, well, hang on a minute. Every race starts with a single step.
Yeah.
How many people around the start line? Is there more room there? She goes, yeah. I'll go, let's go there then. It's less busy.
Right. And what would you see there then?
I'd see people starting the race, but I wouldn't be that impressed with them because I'd go, well, I don't know if any of these are any good.
So would you start at the start or the end then?
If it was down to me, I'd just probably stay at the finish line.
Okay. So you wouldn't want to see the first step then. So what
Not
do you think of Lazoo now then?
I preferred the leading people from behind.
Okay. And what would you do to lead someone now then?
Well, if you're behind, you don't have to take responsibility, do you? You can go, well, I didn't say anywhere, you went there.
That's not really leading them, though, is it?
Yeah, because I've made them think. I've gone, they go, oh, I've just walked into a big hole. I'd go, oh, should have been looking where you're going. I haven't led them in that hole, but they've learnt a lesson, they won't go in a hole again.
That was one of the greatest conversations I've ever been a part of. I mean, that was incredible. Never mind Aristotle and Socrates. That was incredible, that was incredible, Karl.
One of the key catchphrases, if you like, from the war, Karl, was, of course, keep the home fires burning.
Is that like saying, you're away, but don't worry, when you come home, the house is warm?
Pretty much.
Sort of.
Yeah.
Never forget where you're from, we're remembering
We're
you.
here, waiting for you.
Yeah.
Again, it doesn't say what it means. So there's you know, risking your life, and you're getting a letter from home saying we've got the heating on. Again, working hard, paying the bills, they've got the heating blaring. Put your coat on. Start panicking, we're keeping the home fires burning. What? I didn't know, what do you mean, what fire? When have we had that in? I thought we had central heating. Who's she got in? Who's this bloke who's moved in, changed the heating system? It's all extra hassle. Do you know? Yeah, this is why it's best not hearing from people.
Go on.
I was
Brilliant.
in the jungle, wasn't I?
Yeah.
Right, for this programme. Suzanne.
It should explain that Karl wasn't on manoeuvres. We sent Karl around the world for a programme,
Well, hang on, though. I want to hear about the fact he was in the jungle and he didn't want to hear anything from home because...
No, on a lot of the trips, I had a phone now and again, so I could call Suzanne. When I was in the jungle, I was out of contact for like 5 days. Nothing. Didn't know what was going on where. Right? I get out of the jungle. I call Suzanne up. Everything all right? Yeah. What bills have we got? And then I said, how was it? And she said, it was reassuring, it was all right, and it's reassuring that if you died, it'd be all right.
What?
That was from Suzanne.
What do you mean? What
Because
was
she sort
reassuring?
of, it was like I was dead for 5 days. She said things weren't that bad. I still got stuff sorted out. It was reassuring.
She said what? She said you called her up after 5 days of being in the jungle, eating grubs and having things try to climb up your knob.
Yeah, surviving.
Right.
There's me, the first phone call I get, I put the phone on. I'm going to call Suzanne, let her know I'm alright.
Sorry, you could get the phone calls in the jungle, but you didn't want to. What do you mean you turned the phone? I thought you meant you were...
No, it was off because there's no signal.
You mean you got out of the jungle?
You got out
I got out of the jungle,
Right.
put the phone on,
Yeah.
thinking, right, I'll call Suzanne, let her know I'm alright. I've been to Ellen back here. Call her up, everything alright. You know, what's it been like? I said, that's the longest we've ever gone, isn't it? I don't think I've ever gone 24 hours without talking to her for 17 years. Suddenly, there's a week when I'm not talking to her.
Yeah.
She goes, yeah, it started off weird, but it's reassuring that if you were dead, I can handle it. But she said, I sorted everything out still. I could handle it if you weren't here.
What offended you most? The fact that you did that you want her to be dependent on you, or the fact that you realise you make no difference at all in her life?
Well, it's a bit annoying, isn't it? They forget, don't they? The bills weren't as piling up as much as they normally do. That's the only thing they ever get through the door. You know, when there's a postal strike, carry on. I'm not interested. You're only bringing bills to the door anyway. Carry on striking. There wasn't that much post. There wasn't that many bills to sort out. There wasn't problems with the boiler. She's forgetting all this. So I'd like to go back in the jungle, just as the boiler's the flame started to flicker, and about to go out. Let's see you then. That's what I'd say to any soldiers listening to this before you leave home.
Yeah.
Just leave everything. Break a few things, don't pay the bills, and then go. And they'll miss you more.
Yeah, well, that's great advice to people overseas. Let me just reiterate that. Next time, when you come home, have a great time with your wife and kids. See your mum and dad and your family. But then, when you've just got to go back into active service, just smash the place and do shit everywhere. Thanks. Carl, what's your thoughts on poetry?
I've never really been a fan of it.
There's a surprise.
It's sold in a bad light. It's a bit bit gay, isn't it? I mean, it
Okay.
depends what sort you're talking about, because maybe there's poetry out there that I haven't heard.
There's some poetry gayer than others.
Yeah.
War poetry can't be gay, can it? That was
I haven't
people,
heard. Go on.
people fighting in the trenches and can't be gay. They weren't gay. They were writing to their sweetheart. I don't know his name. Might have been a bloke. I don't know. But
So was it a sort of a what sort of poem was it? Was it sort of a limerick, sort of a?
no, it was.
delight?
Well, there's famous ones, Wilfred Owen and Siegfried Sassoon, and they're very moving. They're about, what usually happens is that they talk about why are we here. This is, we've been sold a lie here, and they really started seeing war in a different light from their point of view in the trenches. Famously, some of them died soon after
But I
they'd
prefer
written the poem.
a proper letter. No sort of crypticness. That's the problem with poems.
Okay,
You
so
read
you'd
it and-
have been disappointed to get Dolce et Decorum S through the post, would you? You'd have just said, what are you trying to say, mate? What's the weather like? When you're coming home? Did you get my socks?
Well, yeah, sometimes life is a bit like that, and it's like, say what you mean.
Right. Well, then you have just wiped all art off the face of the earth if you literally just say what you mean.
No, I'm just saying in a letter. Say if I was a woman and my fella was fighting in a war.
Right. What's your fella's name?
Harry.
Okay, so Harry, let me get this right. So when were you married?
About 1935.
1935. So you've been married about 4 years.
Yeah.
Harry, why don't you go off? Oh, you're a woman, aren't you? You don't. Okay. So what did you see in Harry? Why did you like Harry? Was he
He just was like funny.
butch?
He wasn't that butch, but that
No.
didn't matter back then, did it? In the war,
No. And you
took everyone.
But what did you say when Harry said to you?
Well, I thought it was coming because a lot of our friends
Right.
ended up having
Did you
to
just
go
hug him and say don't go or something?
No point, because that would have just made it tough for him. So, what's the point? Just go with it.
But if he
I
had
cried
written-
after he went.
You cried after he went.
That's what you do, innit? You wouldn't do it in front of him. He's got to go to battle.
Okay, so your man goes off to battle.
Right. Then I get a letter from the colonel saying, "Oh, bit of bad news. Harry's dead." Now I get a letter in the post.
He said what he meant, didn't he?
Well, yeah, and they would do, wouldn't they? They wouldn't fanny around saying, "Oh, he was on the warpath and the cloud went dark." I go, "What? Just tell me what happened. I don't want a weather forecast."
He got shot at the arse and the bullet came out his head.
Right. Now, the Colonel, he would just tell me the basics. Now, because he sent his by
Telegram.
they sent a telegram. The letter I get from Harry has been stamped, so I get it late.
Oh, okay.
So I get a letter from Harry after he's died.
Yeah. Right, and you know he's dead.
I know he's dead, so I get this letter with his handwriting on. I'm devastated because I was just getting over his death.
Yeah.
It's all brought back to me when this letter drops through the post.
Well, yeah, 3 days and you're pretty much over it.
It's Harry's handwriting.
Yeah.
Oh, God, what's this?
What's
and
he
I
written?
open it.
Yeah.
And instead of saying, things are bad here, socks are damp, you know, everything's grim, it's cold, I'm sick of it, there's a poem. It wouldn't feel like it was from Harry.
Well,
Because it's not in his words. Poems are never in the person's words.
But did you know Harry was a poet when you married him and made love to him
No,
at
I
night?
picked it up because other people were doing it. Something to do in the trenches.
But when he carried you over the threshold, Carl, and he laid you down and gently kissed you, didn't he say any? Didn't he ever show you?
He must have whispered some sweet nothings into
No,
your
it wasn't
hysterical
like
red
that.
head.
It wasn't
No,
like that. Straight
no.
to the point. It was like, get your knickers off.
That's one of the weirdest fucking scenarios I've ever heard. Why was the telegram coming before the letter? So specific. It wasn't like Harry. The fuck's Harry? Oh God. Comfort and Sound by Feeder on XFM 104.9. I'm Ricky Gervais. With me, Stephen Merchant.
Hello there.
But no Carl Pilkington.
No
He's
Carl.
in Lanzarote.
Lanzarote,
But
yes,
we
we
have
speak.
got a very, very special stand-in. It's Camfield. Say hello.
I'm so excited to be here. It's
Yeah.
been, you know, the things I've learned in the last 10 minutes before we've even gone on air. Like, you
Yeah.
don't have a theme tune.
I don't have a theme
No.
tune, I don't wear headphones.
Exactly.
Ian wears headphones with a preamp. He's got 3 midgets just brought in his back line.
Yeah.
Right? They're called Dog, Mongo and Blitzkrieg. Look, Blitzkrieg is up there, they're eating a banana.
Yeah.
He is the King of Rock, the new King of Rock.
Well, a
the
lot of
young, the Prince, he's the Prince of Rock. Obviously Vance is the King of Rock. But we'll be doing that, we're working out who. Over this, and by the way, Camfield, I don't want the Ian Camfield that does XFM and going, and it's fast approaching 1:23, here's Ash. I want the Camfield that goes, I snorted ants with Lemmy. Okay? So, we want the real Camfield.
Alright, I brought in Metal Christmas, is that alright?
Yeah.
That's my only request from this show, that we do play Paul Di'Anno's version of Santa Claus is Coming to Town. The rest of
That'll
it's
be
over
up
to you.
Yeah, we're going to play some Christmas tunes, we're going to play some, you know, our favourite hits of the year, but mainly, this is the rock programme. This is the rock programme.
What worries me, Rick, is there's a lot of people who listen to our show and they're not regular XFM listeners, they just kind of crawl
They're
out
not
of their
regular
morphine
people.
stupor on a Saturday afternoon, put the show on, so
Yeah.
they might not be familiar with
Well,
Ian's
Ian
work.
Camfield is a young man, he's been in,
He's about 14.
He's been in radio, it's weird, he's 14, but he's been in radio for 15 and a half years.
extraordinary.
He was weaned on the milk of a Vance.
Yeah.
Right? And, he's gonna be the new, rock god, aren't you?
Well, I'm trying.
Yeah. No DJ Camfield. Just go, yeah! Right? And over the 2 hours, I want to work out the 4 pillars of rock, right? I want 4 names, 4 pillars of rock, right? Huge rock pillars, and then I want the king who stands astride them like the archangel of metal. So, we'll be asking Ian, every few minutes we'll be asking, right, who's your first pillar of rock? And then, you know, keeping the one that stands astride them. Okay?
And how many do we need?
Well, we need 5 names then, don't we? The 4 pillars of rock and who stands astride them.
Right,
Okay.
Like the Overlord with these Axe Attack albums.
Yeah. Yeah. This is Oasis. Christmas.
Oasis doing their version of Merry Christmas, everyone. It's Christmas. It seems only appropriate that we play the occasional Christmas tune. There aren't many decent ones.
We will be playing the greatest, not just Christmas, one of the greatest songs of all time, but certainly the greatest Christmas tune of all time, Fairy Tale in New York.
Is that going to be the version done by what's his name out of Boyzone?
Has he done one?
Yeah.
Who's-
Because he's
what-
lived the hard rock and roll life.
who-
like
what's his
Miguel.
name?
What is his name?
Ronan Keating?
Yeah.
He wasn't bad on Room 101, actually. I think he's lightened up a little bit.
Good luck to him.
Yeah.
Yeah,
No,
I do
it's-
as well.
Yeah.
A lot of people ask me, Camfield, I'm sure you can kind of, you've probably got experiences of your own that you might want to talk about, but people ask me what Ricky's like in real life. And I don't want to get grotesque, it's Christmas, people are listening, people are eating sandwiches, but he has a flatulence problem. I don't know if you're aware of this. It is.
It's not a problem.
Right. Well, it is for us. It is for us.
Yeah.
You may not.
Yeah.
I think the problem with Ricky is Ricky hates to miss out on anything. He's terrified that there's going to be something going on that he's missing out on. A conversation, a joke, someone falling over, you know. And, so he daren't spend any time in the lavatory, because he just, it's too, any period of time he spends in there, he could be missing out on some fun. So he kind of tries to get his lavatory, you know, occupying time down to a minimum, an absolute minimum. Plenty of pissing. There's loads of that. But none of the other activity, really. I mean, you keep that really, it's like you're in, you're out, and sometimes I don't think you've done the full job, Rick.
Yeah.
And today, I'll tell you this, my eyes were bleeding. It's intense. It's just a word of warning, because the kitchen at XFM is out of bounds now. No one's going in there until the new year.
A to J in the library.
A to J in the record library. I'll tell you this, I don't know if, like, Tony Blackburn's in the building.
His wig will fall off.
But seriously,
not that he not that he wears a wig. He doesn't wear a wig.
But if he's going down now, maybe he wants to play some Beach Boys. I mean, seriously, forget I'm a Celebrity, get me out of here. Forget you might have survived in the jungle, Tony. But you get down there, mate.
Tony, would you rather eat a plate of maggots or go and get Beach Boys?
Exactly.
Saying A to J. Oh, pot pickers.
Exactly.
Jesus Christ.
It is absolutely extraordinary down there.
Oh,
so I'll just be warned.
But it's Christmas.
Yeah.
It's Christmas.
Why would Blackburn be listening to this?
I don't know, he's probably doing a bit of Christmas shopping.
Sure.
And he's out and about with probably got his little, you know, personal stereo on.
Yeah.
And he goes, oh, I'll listen to the boys at XFM. Exactly. And Camfield, what do you think of it so far?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
It's not Vance, is it? Okay, who is secured as one of the pillars of rock?
Lemmy.
Of course he is.
Never changes his boots. 2 pairs of trousers. 3 shirts.
Really?
Yeah.
And he just alternates them, does he?
Yeah,
so he might
yeah.
have the same pair of trousers for 2 weeks, but the different shirt.
Is it true his rider is a bottle of Jack Daniels and 40 Marlboro?
No, it's like one of those 100 packs.
No.
Yeah. One of the 100 packs of Marlboro, and he like keeps them stuck in his boots, which don't change. Actually, I think I'm right in saying like that one of the like 2 left boots as well, because one of them did break, and he had 2 pairs, but he's now only got 1. But he's got
Lemmy, that is Lemmy then. Lemmy is one of the pillars of rock. What would Phil Lynott get anywhere near this?
Yeah, he would have done.
Let's play some Lizzie then. Don't believe a word. Thin Lizzy on XFM 104.9. I'm Ricky Gervais, with me Stephen Merchant, and over there Cam Fools.
Is that your impression of me?
Yeah.
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 The rock one's better.
The rock one's better.
Yeah, you shouldn't try and be a DJ.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Growing up with Diano Tuesday night.
Ian, I know you're keen to know this, Rick. What are your thoughts on XFM? Let's get behind the facade of Canfield.
What do you think about this? Because we used to have, you know, some conversations,
You've been with XFM since the beginning, haven't you?
I've been here forever, yeah. It's alright, isn't it? I mean, it's not quite magic.
Well, no, a few things are.
You know, got me eyes on the big 105.4, obviously, eventually.
What, magic?
Yeah.
Now, do you think you want to do, like, a rock programme on something like Virgin or Radio 1 eventually?
Nah, I don't think so.
No?
No.
What do you want to do, then? What do you want to do?
I wanna start playing stuff like the Eagles and Steely Dan and Bruce Hornsby in the Range, truth be known.
But you'd have to go quite mainstream.
Like in your bedroom?
But on what sort of platform though? Because, you know, the good thing about those is they are really popular. They are, I mean, I think the Eagles' Greatest Hits is the biggest selling album of all time now. It's overtaken Thriller.
Yeah.
So, I mean, those...
What, you saying Iron Maiden aren't popular? Like what I play now?
Are actually popular, but they've got a very
Slipknot,
tight fan
Fear
base.
Factory.
I mean, Iron Maiden can go to #1 with just their fans buying it and then slip away again, can't they?
Yeah.
But everyone sort of likes the Eagles, don't they?
Yeah.
I mean, I think still. So you could get on sort of like Radio 2 maybe, the rock programme on Radio 2. Who does it at the moment? Is there one?
No, there's not one. I should do a demo maybe.
Okay, well let's
I love the way we're talking about my career and other radio stations I could work for. Do you know something I don't?
No.
No, I'm just saying that this
But
place is not
going down the tube, isn't it? It's going down the tube. I mean, you're gonna be like, I mean, You'd abandon a sinking ship, wouldn't you? You wouldn't hang around, would you? You wouldn't fiddle as Rome Byrne.
I mean, we got a couple of pies cooking in the States, so we're not going to be here to keep it afloat.
No.
You know, the weekends.
But we you know, we want to take the good guys with us.
Right.
So, you know, when this crumbles and they make it into a car park for Capital, I want to see you on Radio 2, Friday nights, 10 till 12, pure rock.
Exactly.
Do you know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Right, well, that's the pitch, isn't it? Friday nights, 10 to 12, pure rock.
Okay, if anyone's listening to the BBC, it's Camfield. He is the new Vance.
Molten metal, maybe.
Molten metal. That's good.
My only concern with TV work for Ian is he doesn't look like the obvious rocker. I mean, people are listening, they probably imagine he's got the long, greasy hair,
but that's the modern look.
T-shirt.
Lots of modern bands now, they've got, you
I'm
know...
not slagging off, I'm just saying I wonder if the
they've
fans...
got short hair. It's not all long hair and strange beards and tattoos,
No,
is it?
the days of them all looking like Lemmy and smelling like Ricky are well and truly gone, you know?
Yeah. Have you ever had the long hair? Have you ever gone in for that?
No.
Never tried that?
No. But I've got bullet belts and stuff like that.
Right.
You know, if you'd have wanted me to dress up, I would have dressed up and brought CDs. I mean, you know, obviously I should have prepared more for this show.
Sure.
Yeah.
Well, we're gonna play some classic rock, aren't we? I think we're gonna play The Who. We got Jump, Van Halen, that's a classic, isn't it?
Yeah, I think I've got that about 5 times on every Driving album I brought in for you.
Okay, and so, you know,
Are we gonna play Since You've Been Gone?
Yes. Yeah. What's next?
British Sea Power.
Yeah, I thought we should play a couple of singles that we've enjoyed over the last year or so, and this is one of them. Carry On, play at Camfield.
And don't forget, Paul Di'Anno and Santa Claus is Coming to Town's coming on as well.
Paul Di'Anno doesn't snort ants, he snorts anteaters.
Carry On from British Sea Power on XFM 104.9. Not bad at all. Now listen, we should just point out to people that Carl's away, and we always slag him off because he provides very little. But
and he's an idiot.
Well, exactly, to be fair. But he's obviously off in Lanzarote, and he's forgotten to tell us what the password is for our email, Rick.
Idiot.
So we can't get into the email. So we're not gonna have to use Ian's email instead. ian.camfield@xfm.co.uk if you want to get in touch.
You're never gonna have so many emails, Ian.
Really?
Yeah,
Is that right?
you're gonna be looking at them all week. It's gonna be brilliant for you. You're gonna feel really popular. You know what Heat described Carl as a bald little mank twat.
Nice.
Carl was going, brilliant. Is that allowed? Is that alright?
Yeah.
Bless him. Bald little mank twat is back on the 3rd, isn't he?
Well, if there's one thing that magazine's
Well,
good
was
at,
he
it's
suggesting you
accuracy.
can't be regionalist?
What?
Was he suggesting you can't be regionalist? Was that allowed?
No, I just think it's a familiarity of, it's just because we call him a bald little mank twat, that a national magazine can say that. Oh, bless his little round head. Wonder what he's doing now. He's sitting in the ash, reading his, reading his Rich Hall book. Yeah, he spent a week when he went to, where was it? St. Lucia. He spent a week, right? Throwing sand at crabs.
Yeah. I don't think they've even got crabs, have they, over there?
No, I don't know
nothing.
what he's gonna do. What is he gonna do? Suzanne, what is she gonna do?
He's gonna be whinging.
But it's sort of like, Carl must be like, kid, you must like sit him in front of a video while you go and make the dinner or something.
Yeah.
It must be a nightmare taking a pet. Has she got a little harness for him?
To be fair though, Rick, I mean, I can't imagine you're much better on holiday. I've always wondered what that must be like. Because you always need an audience. You've always got to have someone around that you can perform for, drop your trousers for.
Annoy,
just generally sing and dance about. And, Jane's seen it all. She's bored of you. So what, do you just do this to other people on the beach? Holiday makers, it is me. You can't believe your luck, Ricky Gervais. What, do you want me to do the dance?
Do you want me to annoy you?
Yeah, exactly.
I can annoy you for 5 minutes.
Yeah.
Then I'll get bored
Exactly.
myself. I'll tell you what, I want some ads, and after that, the fairy tale in New York.
Oh.